thanks for joining me today. I haven't done a product review in the longest time, and I don't know why. I think I forgot, to be honest, but I am back today doing a review on a product that you guys have been asking me about for a pretty long time, which is the Kevyn Aucoin Solid Foundation. So I got this from New York at Bergdorf Goodman, and it's, I've never seen a Kevyn Aucoin standalone store. I don't think that it actually exists. I think you can get this at higher end department stores like Barney's New York, some Nordstrom's carry it, Neiman Marcus might carry it. I definitely obviously bought this from Bergdorf. Henri Bendel in New York will also carry this. So what this foundation is it's a stick foundation. I have this in the color 05, or it's called Yasmin. And this is, I know lots of people have really bad impressions of cream foundations in general. They think that it's too heavy, it's too cakey. I know MAC sells stick foundations. A lot of companies sell stick foundations, but they don't tend to be very popular with the normal consumer. That was the same case with me. I had never used a stick foundation after hearing such terrible things about it. But if you guys remember, I told you when I went to New York in January, I had actually burned my face through microdermabrasion. So I had a lot to cover up. And this is the foundation that Mario actually recommended at his makeup class. He said that it's an amazing foundation. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and try it. So I tried it. It has excellent coverage because it covered up all of those scars without leaving behind any sort of flakiness. It didn't leave behind any sort of reminder that you've even got foundation on. And it just covered so well. So I immediately took to that. And now I know what you're thinking. You probably think that because it covered so well, it's a very thick foundation. I am going to say you guys are wrong, because this is a very unique consistency. I don't have anything to compare it to because I've never used another stick foundation. But what I do is I take this and just draw across my face like a crayon. And then I take a brush like this, like a flat foundation brush, and I just pull it downwards and just, kind of even it out. You can put this on just with this and blend it in with your fingers and it'll be just fine. That's what I did when I first got the foundation. But then I started pairing it with a brush like this. That works really well. And then just to get a little creative, I also tried it with the MAC 130, and that also does a great job. So it's up to you how you guys want to apply this. I think it's very malleable with your fingers, especially. It does a great job with brushes too. But this is a foundation that dries pretty fast, so you need to work very fast with it. One very interesting quality that it's got is that when I drew on my face, like as though it's a crayon, at first it looked unnatural because it's like, there's some foundation here that's not everywhere, so it looks unnatural, it looks thicker. But then after 2 seconds, after you look back in the mirror, all of a sudden it had just completely dissolved into my face. So then when I go back over it with the foundation brush, I almost can't even see the foundation, which is very unique to me because, again, I was expecting it to be very thick, but it's just not. Like, I don't even know how to explain it to you, but it just moves around your face really well. It covers really well, and it's probably one of the most natural foundations I've worn. Another thing that I think this is really good for is big pores. Most of my foundations, I don't have the problem where foundation makes my pores look even bigger just because I use a good primer and stuff like that, but most foundations don't tend to even just take out my pores or even out my skin tone to that extent. With this, somehow it covered up my pores immediately, made my skin look like I am poreless and just absolutely flawless. It has got amazing oil control properties. I use this with my normal foundation primer and, all of my normal steps also, and it just went on really well. I usually don't even set this just because it looks so good on once, you put it on, you blend it in with your foundation brush or your fingers. I don't really necessarily even need to set this. This is coming from a girl who's got very oily skin, so you guys should try this out also. Let me know if this works for you in terms of oily skin also. If you have got, the world's oiliest skin and you do want to set it, you can. It doesn't take away from the foundation. Your foundation still looks very breathable and very, very natural. But I really like that. No matter how oily I've always been, I have always had to set my foundation with the powder. I've been way too scared to try otherwise. When I have tried it, it hasn't worked out, even with my really good primers. This is the only foundation I've ever used that I don't have to put on a setting powder with. Now, that being said, there aren't too many shades of this. I think it might have like a range of 10 shades or so, but this is one of those foundations that after blending this in, it does oxidize a little bit. So it will become a tiny bit darker. So this is a color that already is a little, like maybe half a shade darker than my real skin. And so I do have to blend this in, and it does get a tiny bit darker. So it's good for the summertime where I want to look darker. And even for the winter, really, because I don't like the whole matte skin look, so I'm fine looking glowy and dewy and stuff throughout the entire year, so this is a good foundation choice for me. With a stick, the way you would just revolve this around, open it up, but obviously you don't want to put this on with this much out here because it will break. The actual stick was about double this height. I got this in January. It's now March, and so I've already used about half of this. So this isn't a foundation that's going to last you forever. It's pretty expensive. It's $45, and it's not something that's going to last forever because I guess with it being the consistency that it is, and you're putting this on, you're putting on a lot more than you would of a normal foundation, but yet somehow it doesn't look, it can never give you that cakey effect that normal foundations do give you. So I really enjoy this. Now the one downfall of this, and it's a pretty big downfall, is the scent. I don't even know what this smells like. It is, when I first got this, it smells like some sort of perfume mixed in with like an old garbage smell, is the way I thought of it. So I would put this on and like be really irritated the entire time I'm putting it on because it smells so bad, but then it would disappear into my face. And I actually tested this theory because the other day I was wearing this and I haven't really worn this much around my boyfriend. And so I was like, can you, like, do you smell anything weird? And he was like, no. And I was like, are you sure? Come closer. And he was just like, no, I can't smell anything. So I was like, okay, well, I'm wearing this foundation on my face that apparently, has this really gross smell. And I just wanted to see if you could smell it. And this was after maybe like 45 minutes of wearing it or so, and he couldn't smell a thing. So I guess other people won't be able to smell, but when you're putting this on, you can definitely smell something strange. People have described the scent as baby poop, which is not something good, and throw up. So I don't understand why they continue to put the scent into it. I don't know if there's like an ingredient in here that causes that, but for me, it's not big enough to take me away from the foundation because it's a great product. But for some people, I know when I was looking at people's reviews, they said that was a complete deal breaker for them because it did smell bad. In the past, I've told you guys about products that I think don't smell good, but, I haven't yet used a product that I think is just so terrible in the way that it smells that I can't use it again. So for me, that hasn't been a deal breaker, but you guys can be the judge of that. So I think it's a very user-friendly foundation. You can put this on however you want. If you are an avid brush user, you can use brushes to put this on, blend it in. If you like to use your fingers, you can do that too. And sometimes, even if you are a little bit lazier and don't want to do any of those two, you can kind of apply this into spots and blend it in. This is one of the only foundations where I can literally say you can put this on just on the spots that you need it, and that's it, and it looks that good. I know people, especially makeup artists, will say, oh, just use foundation where you need it. But on my own self, I feel like if I put foundation on certain areas and not on the rest of my face doesn't look even. I think that it helps take away whatever problem I have in that area that I'm putting foundation on, but you can kind of tell that you're wearing something there, but not in the rest of your face. So I don't like to do that. But with this foundation, that works 100%. In New York, when I was there, I only used this in my burns, and I left the rest of my face completely free because I have pretty good skin, and that was the thing that was affecting me the most, and it still looked completely natural and normal. This also works really well as an eye primer because it's such a solid foundation. It's almost like, it's soft to the touch when you're putting this on, but it dries matte, and it dries, without creasing. So even on my eyes, I would roll this over my eyes as my eye primer, put on eyeshadow and stuff over it, and it didn't crease. So it's a good foundation for that. It's definitely very long wearing. One of the only foundations that after the entire day you still look the exact same. I haven't had many drier skin clients for some reason, and I haven't had many normal skin clients. I tend to get more of the oily skin clients, so I have seen how foundation on them, me, whatever, it doesn't really stand the test of time. According to your skin type, foundation will last longer and less time, based on just what your skin's like. So especially for us oily skin girls, that no matter how much you set your foundation, one, it can either go really cakey because you're putting on so much powder. To stop that oil, you have to touch up a lot more throughout the day. And also, after 11 or 12 hours, you can see a difference in your makeup from when you first put it on to later in the day. Whereas all of the people that I know with drier skin, like my best friends and stuff, like they look the same from morning to night, and that's something that you want. So this is a foundation that gives you that. So I don't know. I think it's an amazing product. I think that it's expensive and you don't get as much use of it as you would out of like a NARS foundation because it's about the same price but in a bottle. But I think that comes with the territory. A cream foundation is never going to last as long as a liquid does because you do require a little bit more of it. So yeah, I think it's a great product. I will link it down below for you guys so you know where to buy it. I definitely think go and test this out before because I was originally going to get the shade darker than this, but then I'm glad I didn't because this already is darker for me, the shade lighter. So I would go test this out before you buy it. But that is my review on it. You don't have to set it. It's an awesome foundation. kind of funky smell, but I think all in all it's worth it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this foundation review, and I will talk to you very soon. Bye!